history repeats itself. Sunday night, October 26th, 2025. Except this time, the shoe's on the other foot. And instead of being purple, it's black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow. As after 18 seasons as the quarterback in Green Bay, and I know we had 2 extraordinarily forgettable seasons with the Jets in between, but 18 seasons as Packers quarterback or the understudy to Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers goes up against his former team and his former understudy, Jordan Love. Oh, baby. I don't even think it's accurate to say I've been waiting all day for Sunday night. When we get there on Sunday night, I'll have been waiting all week for Sunday night. This is the best game on the board this week in the National Football League, and I don't think it's even close. The storylines are, this is like something out of Shakespeare. And the teams are both playoff contenders, and in the case of Green Bay, you can say a legit Super Bowl contender. Now, if Joe Esposito's right, and history repeats itself, Rodgers and the Steelers should win this game, like Brett Favre and the Vikings did. The problem with that school of thought, have you watched the Pittsburgh Steelers try and play defense this season? Are you old enough to remember last Thursday night, 6 days ago, Steelers, Bengals, and Cincinnati, where I came on the air the next day on a Phenomenal Football Friday and I asked, did the Steelers practice this week? Did they watch film on the Bengals offense? Hell, I'll take it a step further. Are they aware that Jamar Chase is a person that exists and plays professional football and plays wide receiver for the Bengals? Because watching the game, you'd have no idea. And yes, the Pittsburgh Steelers are 4-2. Should be 5-1, and my Steelers playoff bets, like I'm not thrilled about that loss last week against Cincinnati. I'd love to make the case for the Steelers down the road this season. But looking at this defense, I'm not sure how you can. And if we're going to be objective about this, yes, the Steelers have 4 wins. The defense only really had a complete game, like from start to finish, against Dylan Gabriel and the Cleveland Browns. Even in the Dublin win against Carson Wentz and the Vikings, they tried desperately to yak it away at the end. I mean, that looked like Dante Culpepper chucking it up to Randy Moss and company. The Vikings did. Here's Carson Wentz down the field to Jordan Addison. Like, literally, you would have thought this was like Brad Johnson throwing the ball down the field or Jeff George throwing the ball down the field to Randy Moss. Here's Randall Cunningham to Chris Carter or Jake Reed. Ridiculous. Because the Steelers' defense is absolutely brutal. And now here's Jordan Love and this explosive Green Bay Packers passing offense. And maybe Christian Watson's going to be back for this game. Another deep threat. As Matthew Golden continues to get acclimated to the offense coming out of the bye last week for Green Bay. And Tucker Kraft is a young emerging tight end for the Green Bay Packers on offense. And I got to ask this question. How the hell are the Pittsburgh Steelers going to stop the Green Bay Packers on offense? The answer, they won't. But on the flip side, do you really think, seriously, that the Packers defense, as good as it's looked at points this season, with the great Micah Parsons anchoring the pass rush, do you really think that Aaron Rodgers is not going to carve up that ass like a Thanksgiving turkey? Arthur Smith is going to have the quick game rolling for Aaron Rodgers this week. For as good as Green Bay's pass rush is, the secondary has been just as bad. Just look at this past Sunday. At one point, almost losing to Jacoby Brissett and the Cardinals, allowed 14 consecutive completions to Jacoby Brissett and that broken passing offense. Now, here's the great Aaron Rodgers and DK Metcalf and the fleet of tight ends. How do you think it's going to go? Will history repeat itself and the Steelers win the game? I don't know. Will the Packers drive a dagger into the heart of Aaron Rodgers and Pittsburgh? I'm not so sure. But here's what I do know. Love balls out, Rodgers balls out. 45, way too low. Give me the over on Sunday Night Football. A couple pieces of breaking news literally in the last few minutes while we were in commercial break just now that I want to bring up. Number one, led the show with Packers-Steelers coming up on Sunday night. Why I like the over in the game as Aaron Rodgers takes on his former team. Totals 45. Like, Aaron Rodgers and the quick game is going to dice up this Packers defense. They're going to mitigate the pass rush. You know Rodgers is going to be on one. You know he wants to stick it to Brian Gutekunst. He might like Jordan Love, and I actually believe that they do like each other. He's going to want to stick it to Jordan Love. Steelers are going to put up points in this matchup. And on the flip side, I told you, Jordan Love, this explosive Packers offense, up against a brutal Swiss cheese. You know, because there's holes everywhere. Steeler defense. And I referenced, maybe Christian Watson will be back for this game. Well, Christian Watson right now, moments ago, telling reporters at Packers practice that he expects to play Sunday night and make his season debut after tearing his ACL midway through last season. So if Christian Watson plays, like, think about what he does when he's on the field. Legitimate field stretcher, even more of a field stretcher down the field, vertical threat than Matthew Golden. It's going to open things up underneath for Romeo Doubs. Open things up, down the middle of the field for Tucker Kraft. It's going to make life way easier for Matthew Golden. Make life easier for Josh Jacobs. I love this over 45 on Sunday night. And if Christian Watson's out there in your fantasy league and you have a deep enough league and you can stash him on your bench, he may not pop this week, but he absolutely needs to be owned. If you're in any fantasy league where you take it seriously and the people take it seriously, he should be owned. Sunday Night Football. I have chills before I even ask you this. Aaron Rodgers against his former team, against his former understudy, reminded me of 16 years ago. Brett Favre against Rodgers and against the Green Bay Packers. Green Bay's a road favorite. Steelers defense can't stop anybody right now. Embarrassing last week against the Cincinnati Bengals. Green Bay's a 3-point road favorite. The total's 45. What are you expecting to see Sunday night in Pittsburgh? Rodgers against Green Bay.
Well, I think Pittsburgh bounces back. I'm going to see him in 2 weeks when the Colts come to town. That's going to be a good game too. But I think, look, they got caught up trying to play man coverage against Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. They got destroyed. Like, Green Bay doesn't have that type of firepower. Like Matthew Golden, you go through the list of guys, they don't play that style of football. Like Joe Flacco played a perfect game. And, in Pittsburgh, but I think Pittsburgh's offense is getting better. They got a good 1-2 punch with Jalen Warren right now and Kenneth Gainwell. And the line is playing pretty good. That Darnell Washington's only going to get better and a bigger part of that whole offense. I feel like Pittsburgh can bounce back from this thing. I think they got embarrassed, every one of them. Jalen Ramsey, Joey Porter, Slay, they all got embarrassed in that game. But I don't feel like Green Bay can play that style and beat them like that.
Over or under 45 points on Sunday night? This is a betting question.
I'd say I'd go over on that. I think teams are going to be able to score. I'd go over.
Good. I like that a lot.